Good afternoon. My name is Alena Shautsova. I am an immigration attorney from Brooklyn, New York. In today's video, I would like to talk to you about how you can win your asylum claim using argument of pattern or practice. Asylum is a vast topic, and in the United States, the law is very complicated and conflicting at times, meaning that various courts will have various opinions, different opinions on one's eligibility for asylum. So here I'm going to be focusing on future persecution and how you can prove it, that you have a reasonable fear of future persecution. As you can imagine, and what very often happens in the United States when one is filing for asylum, he or she is going to wait for years sometimes before he or she can see a judge. And as a result of that, when finally the day comes, the prosecutor is going to say, well, Miss Maria, it's true that you were threatened and beaten up before, but you see now for 7 years you've been living in the United States, and we believe that now you will be able to safely return back to your country. How can you prove that you still possess a reasonable fear of harm if, let's say, you return back to your home country now? And yes, there is such a thing as a presumption of future harm when you establish past persecution. But let's say this is not your argument. Your argument is that you possess a fear of future persecution. Well, Maria has two ways to establishing that. She can show that there is an individualized harm, risk of harm upon return, or she can show that a pattern or practice of persecution of a group of persons similarly situated to her on account of race, religion, nationality, membership in a particular social group, or political opinion is taking place in her home country. And if she is using the second point, then she doesn't have to show that she individually has a risk of being targeted by a persecutor upon return to her home country, that the persecutor knows of her protected class, and things so on. So pattern or practice, how do we show that? What exactly is pattern or practice? How many times the government has to do harm, and to whom, so we can use that argument in court for our case? There is no clear answer to this question, unfortunately. What we know is that the harm has to be systemic and organized. Random acts of harm against a particular group of people will not do. In this analysis, we're going to be using country conditions reports. Very often, the government is going to rely on them. And the funny part about those country conditions reports, that two courts are going to look at the same country conditions reports and will reach different results. So you have to be very well prepared and know that country conditions report very well, because in one part of it there will be one facts, another part of it there will be other facts. The use of country conditions expert may help you to establish that based on that pattern of practice argument, if you return to your home country, you particularly entitled to asylum, because you are likely to be harmed. What is the burden? The burden does not change. It's 1 out of 10 chances that you will be harmed. All right, but this is something that can be used to avoid the high burden of showing that particularly you will be targeted because of your protected ground. If you can show that the government, let's say, is persecuting religious minority in your home country, there is a pattern of practice of persecution, and you belong to that minority, you win your case. Okay, that's how it works. So have to be very well prepared, know country conditions reports, use them, use country conditions expert. Again, this argument is very useful for those who are waiting for their cases to be heard for a very long time. Practically everyone. If you can show that you belong to that group, the group that being systematically persecuted in your home country, here is your one asylum case. And please read more about asylum and various aspects of asylum law, including decisions in real cases on our website www.shautsova.com. Thank you.